Wow. So is that work? I bet you that's working now. Unbelievable. Yeah, that is totally my fault. So I apologize for that. Hopefully we're not too loud. It's looking like we might be a little loud. Let me crank that down a little bit. Okay. So hopefully, man, am I loud? Y'all can tell me if I'm like loud or anything like that too. But hopefully the sound is now working and all that good stuff. If there's any other issues, if I'm too loud or too quiet or anything like that, definitely let me know. Wow, yeah, I wish maybe I need to do a better job making sure that everything's going. I thought we had that all squared away. Last time I was getting ready to start and my mic was actually muted. It was red. This time everything looked good to go, but something within the software was kind of messing up. So apologies for that. If there's any other issues, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. Hopefully, the stream health is doing all right. It says that, looks like we are at least live. It says the audio's current bitrate, blah, blah, blah. You're saying it's good now, though. So we'll just go ahead and get right in, and I'll just edit some of that stuff out for the people that watch later after the video uploads. But I guess I'll kind of just start over. So the first tool that we're going to talk about today is going to be Surfer Local. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, as most of you know, if you've been on the channel more than once, anytime I do a live stream or anything like that, it's specifically for you guys. Like if you have any questions about, specifically, of course, the pest control industry, pest control business, how to start a business, grow the business, any questions whatsoever, you can shout it out there in the chat. And if I don't know, I'll just be honest with you. I'll tell you, I'm not quite there in my journey yet, or I haven't came across that yet. Whatever the case may be, I'll definitely, be honest. I'm not going to make anything up just to, please you or whatever. Like if I don't know, I just don't know. I'm not going to lie to you and give you bad advice or anything like that. But yeah, the first tool that we're going to talk about until we start getting some questions is Surfer Local. Surfer Local is a company that I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. We just started using them here about 2 weeks ago. We use them specifically for text marketing and email marketing. If we go over here to Surfer Local, let's see. So if we go over here to tasks, statistics. So one cool thing is with Surfer Local is you can actually, plug in like your Google My Business account essentially, and it'll tell you, how many calls. Now, you got to keep in mind your first month when you're using them, everything that is showing in terms of like +3, +101, all that is from like the day you signed up. It's not necessarily, your true 30-day, rolling average or anything like that. It's going just based off of since you connected it to your account. But it is another good tool to just take a look at in terms of, okay, like how many website visits have I received since I signed up with this? How many people have viewed our Google business profile? How many calls have we gotten? It's a good tool for that. But then also if we go over here, and Surfer Local, actually, I had them mixed up with another company that I'll pull up here in a second. Surfer Local is more so designed for helping you track your positioning on Google My Business specifically. So what you can do is you can put in different keywords, like search terms, essentially that you want to be showing up for, and pretty much it shows you kind of a grid. It's similar, some of you might have heard of Bright Local by now. They're similar to Bright Local. They claim to be better. Do not know necessarily yet if they are. Their website is a little tougher to navigate than Bright Local. I will say that up front. However, overall, I definitely like some of the options they have on this. They do have a free version. This version I'm using, I do not believe is free. We can go here and hopefully I don't give away a bunch of information or anything like that. I believe the plan we are on is, $30 a month plus tax. I don't know for sure if I'm going to keep this plan or anything like that. I haven't used it a lot. I just signed up here about a week or two ago, and but I do like the fact that it's always refreshing every few days. to let you know, kind of like it's saying right now, we went down one ranking for pest control service, and where we went up 2 on termite treatment. So I like keeping up with all that kind of stuff. Just something that you might want to add as you continue to grow your company. What's the best way to start getting new accounts? Company should be open at the end of the month. Want to replace my income as fast as possible. For sure. So obviously, in terms of free options, you have, of course, old-fashioned door knocking, word of mouth, that kind of thing. Another route, in all honesty, is going to be what location are you exactly to? Like, are you in a bigger city? Are you in a more rural area? Because a lot of times that can play into it too. Example, I look at business from Facebook, Google Ads, that kind of stuff, where I have a cousin who lives in the Midwest, a little bit more rural, population of about probably 200,000, in his service area, and he's tried to do a lot of stuff that we do, and it's just not really working for him at all. So the stuff that I do, it works great, in these higher service population areas. Not to say it's not going to work for you. I'm just speaking to like his experience. I don't know if he's done everything like me. I just know he at least claims that he does. Of course, you don't know at the end of the day, but so I always like to get an idea of like where people are located and that kind of stuff as well. You don't have to give me like your exact town or anything like that, but just like a area if possible. But one of the main ways, in all honesty, is going to be Google Ads. Google Ads, it's not cheap whatsoever. This ad that we did here about a year ago, when was it? March? Yeah, March of 22. We were paying about $8 a click, $7 to $8 a click. The cost overall was over $1,000, but we did get quite a few accounts off of this. Surprisingly, actually. I mean, that's why I saved this campaign, because I plan on firing it back up again now that we're going to have a lot more money to play with in terms of ad budget. We have all sorts of campaigns. This is just one little ad set, essentially. The CTR wasn't great on this ad. However, like I said, it translated out of those 133 clicks. We signed up a handful of customers. So, and the average contract value was about $550 to $650. So around $600 per year per customer. So, say out of $1,000 you spend, or we'll even round up and say $1,100. If you sign up 2 customers at, we'll just say $600 a year average, that's $1,200. You're at least breaking even on your ad spend your first year. And then after that, you're looking more so through the compound effect. That's the main thing, though, when it comes to advertising, guys, is a lot of advertising. You're not going to see a true return unless if you just hit a home run. Occasionally that happens, like especially with Facebook ad platforms that are a little bit cheaper, that are $1 to $2 per click instead of $7 or $8 per click. You have the opportunity to get your acquisition costs down big time. With Google Ads, from my experience, you're probably looking, around $100 per customer acquisition. For every click, a lot of people think clicks are everything. Clicks are great and all, but, what really matters ultimately is your conversion rates and all that stuff. The main numbers I pay attention to more than anything is what's my CTR, people that are seeing the ad and clicking on it, and then, what is my conversion rate. So that's the most important thing when it comes to advertising, at least in my opinion. And then follow, close number 3 obviously would be, what's your cost per click as well if you're doing pay-per-click ads, which usually are the best for Google specifically. But the main thing, my whole point is, if you're going to be spending money on advertising, don't go in thinking, man, I've spent $500, like, I need to make $2,000. Like, it's not to say it never works like that. Like I said, there are certain high ticket items where, you're going to spend $500 in advertising and boom, you sell a $2,000 exclusion. But when it comes to like general pest control, if you're advertising general pest control, mosquito control, these services that are lower ticket items, you're going to see your return on the back end longer term by compounding, getting these yearly contracts, and of course, keeping them as customers long term, retargeting them with email and text marketing if they're doing one-time services, all of that kind of stuff. Which leads me to the next company that I need to find for you guys. Here we go, right there. Yeah, so Sendinblue is an email marketing company. Look at that, guys. I mean, we had almost 19% now of, and only 2 unsubscribed. That was our first email marketing campaign. We just had a freeze here in Dallas, and I sent out a rodent control. I'll show you guys what it looks like here in a second. Just a quick one. It took me like 5 minutes to make. Use ChatGPT to make it and all that stuff. Nothing crazy. But look at that. Almost 1 in 5 people we sent this to opened the email. Now, no one clicked on our button. I credit that to me. That was my fault. I was experimenting with this. I put a call button instead. We can go ahead and take a preview of it. Let's see. And this is free. This is a free tool, by the way. This is what it looks like on your phone. So it says, preferred pest management notice, below freezing temps expected to cause numerous rodent issues in DFW. A little picture there. And then, explaining that this is from a home in Plano. A squirrel destroyed this roof return. Then it just explains, our rodent control services I always like to start with as low as price. The $20 per month, of course, is, our lowest, like if you're bundling with pest, termite, this and that and the other. And then, of course, we highlight in bold, $100 off a rodent exclusion service for current and previous, the customers that aren't a current customer anymore. And this is where I messed up. I put a call now for inspection button. And I think a lot of people like going online and like submitting the form and all that stuff, because most of my customers, they signed up with us because on our website, if you go to our website here, you'll see immediately, assuming that it pulls up here, we have a form. Boom, immediately. Get a quote in 60 seconds or less. And everybody loves that. It's a slam dunk. Everybody loves our form that, you get your lead, get your quote in 60 seconds or less. And I think whenever I put the call now, they didn't necessarily want to call. I am interested if I had put text now, if that would have done better. But again, it's all about experimenting. It's a free platform. I can't stress that enough. You get, if we go to the dashboard here, you get, where is it? So 300 emails per day. I think it's in the statistics. It'll tell you. So yeah, we're on the free plan right now. 300 emails per day. You have 300 emails you can send out per day. 500 web push, whatever that means. In all honesty, I need to look that up. In all honesty, but it gives you a good breakdown of everything. Lets you know how many people unsubscribed, if emails bounced, anything like that. If anyone actually replied to your email, clicked on it. Open, it's good to see people opening the email at least, but of course the end goal is to get the clicks on it and actually get conversions. But for a first email marketing campaign, I really won't complain about that at all. And like I said, it's free. You can't beat free at the end of the day. The fact that you get 300 emails for free is amazing. How did you decide how much to pay yourself? So at the beginning, I was, I wouldn't say lucky because I worked my ass off for it, but I was lucky from the standpoint of I had a paid off car that I sold and took all the equity to put it down. I mean, I didn't take all the equity and put a down payment. I took some of that equity, put a down payment on my truck, got my truck for around $315 a month at the time. And then we had roughly $4,000 left over just in savings. And then I also had another $4,000 or $5,000 in my 401k. Went ahead and cashed it out, ate the little BS fee, all that stuff. So I had, somewhere around $7,000. And keep in mind, I started in slow season. I started in November of 2020. And luckily for me, Google Local Services was still pretty new, and we just took off on Google Local Services. Got our first probably 100 customers from that. And when I first started paying myself, was pretty much when I ran out of money. Gonna be honest with you. I took a lot of that money and strategically, that 7,000, I had my wife working too. That helped as well. But I took the money that we had left and strategically used it for Google Local Services, which I would definitely still suggest, open a Google Local Services account. If you don't know what Google Local Services is, I'll pull that up really quick for you all. So Google Local Services is different than Google Ads. What you do, actually, I don't even need to log in, but you'll want to look that up. So, for example, if I type in pest control near me, of course, you'll probably see like my business or whatever. But up here, these are the Google Local Service ads, essentially. So when you're like brand new, usually they're going to force you to the top to make you think Google Local Services is awesome, amazing. They're going to charge you, $20 to $50 a lead. They're going to be great leads on top of that, and you'll get a lot of sales. You'll get a lot of leads and good sales off of that. So I definitely suggest that. It's very cheap early on. However, they're going to jack your rate up and push you down the list pretty much immediately after about a month of using them. But it is a good way to get started for cheap, was my whole point there. And then from there, when it came to paying myself versus saving money in the company, was, I just paid myself the bare minimum. This is where, if you go back further and look through my channel where I talk a lot about budgeting, it's like a curse word in a lot of houses, but having a personal budget that you can stick to, it's a must whenever you're first starting. You have to stick to a budget. Cut your expenses down for a little bit. I always say live like no one else now, live like no one else later. I think Dave Ramsey actually came up with that saying, but I love that saying because, if you're willing to just suffer, eat dirt for a little bit, soon you'll be buying $5 bottled water later. Like even today, I look at this. I mean, we bought a 12 pack of these for like $30. I was like, this is fucking stupid. $5 bottle of water. That's dumb. Or 3, whatever it was. I mean, it's just dumb. It's water. But yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, I started paying myself. Let's see, January. I paid myself January of 2021. Like I'm trying to go back. I paid myself like $1,200, and then February, I'm trying to think. February, we moved into the house we're in now, and I think I paid myself around $3,000, did like $5,000 in sales, just for perspective. But then, I started focusing heavy on growth from there, and now I'm to the point where I'm only paying myself roughly, oh man, I haven't done a percentage breakdown in a while, but I want to say, in terms of like really technically paying myself, if I'm including my rent for my house, because I pay that out of the business, utilities, this and that, I probably pay myself roughly $7,000 a month right now, $7,000 or $8,000 a month right now, which it isn't really that much considering. But now my wife's a stay-at-home mom, so I don't really have a choice. Before that, it was like fucking 4 or 5. But now, since my wife's a stay-at-home mom and I'm the sole provider, it's pretty much, the highest that it's been. Let's see. Oh, I apologize if I missed your question. I try to be quicker about answering, but a lot of stuff you just can't answer it so quickly. How does your instant quote work? So I can go back to that real quick. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. So how my instant quote tool works, essentially, it's made by Gorilla Desk, and you can pay them for just this by itself, essentially. I forget how much it costs. I want to say like $200 a month or something like that. But and if you want, you can reach out to them to get info about that. But let's say you wanted general pest control. We'll just go through like the quickest way possible how it works. So let's say someone's looking for pest control. They click that. They can say, do I want a one-time or a quarterly? They select quarterly. A lot of times they pick one time and then they end up converting to the quarterly. But let's say we do quarterly. Then they tell me, roughly how big their home is. Let's say it's an average home, right around 2,000 square foot. And then, you put in your zip code. Let's say you're in Rowlett. Then you go ahead and put your name. We'll just put my first initial, last initial, and then a bunch of ones in there. And then we'll do na@gmail. And then, get my instant price. Everything checks out. And then from there you go. Your instant price is $39. Of course, you got the little asterisk there because, that's $39 per month for a quarterly treatment plan. It's supposed to say per month there. I need to get with them about getting that adjusted. And then, of course, it says the monthly price does not... Oh, there it is. So that's where it lets you know it's monthly. The monthly price does not include initial services costs, which start at $99. And then, I get an email pretty much right away. I already got it. It lets me know, you have a new instant quote lead online. And then it lets me know, it gives me all the information. And literally I can plug that information right into my Gorilla Desk, my CRM, immediately to keep tabs on that customer. Use a company like Sendinblue to, even if I don't sell them or if they don't answer the phone, whatever the case may be, hey, they put in their email. So now guess what they're going to get? They're going to get email. They're going to get text. They're going to get all the marketing material. So awesome tool overall. I mean, even if you don't use this tool specifically, you can create your own depending on the website creator that you're using. We use WordPress, and Gorilla Desk is the one who, kind of like pre-built the website. I modified like 95% of what's on this website now, but they kind of like pre-made it up for me. It's not perfect or anything, but I definitely suggest you guys make YouTube videos for your company as well. By the way, that and blogs, it's a must at the end of the day. But that's how that works. So hopefully that answers your question about kind of the website and the instant quote. Holy moly, 7,000. It's almost double. Oh. Yeah, well, I live in Dallas-Fort Worth, so it's getting kind of like little California the closer you get to Dallas. Once you start getting out of Dallas, it drops off drastically. But like I said, when you're buying freaking $4 water and just stupid stuff that you don't really need at the end of the day, plus having kids, anyone that has kids know how expensive those little rugrats are. I'm very, very, very intentional about like making sure my daughter is getting, and now we're going to have a second one in June, making sure they're going to have the best nutrients, best education, homeschool material and all that stuff. She's only 3 years old, and she's like starting to like learn how to read and all that. So like I'm very, very intentional. And that's why like I do this at the end of the day, is because like I know my why, and that's the most important thing is, know your why. If your why is strong enough, strong enough in your heart, you'll push mountains essentially. And like I don't think there'll ever be a dollar amount that like makes me satisfied. It makes me almost kind of obsessive when it comes to the business. Like I'm always thinking about it, but it's with right intentions. It's not like I'm trying to like take over the world or anything crazy. It's just I want to provide great jobs for people in this industry. Just be different and do things the right way. And get off my soapbox on that. But I'm trying to keep that down. That's why I keep telling my wife. I tell her, I'm like, man, we got to chill out. Like, we got to stop going to Chipotle and all this other stuff. What are your most profitable services? Oh, the most profitable in terms of percentage is definitely, I wouldn't say exclusion, but most profitable is definitely going to be that's a tough one. That's a good question because I haven't actually broken it down in terms of percentages. That's a good idea. That's a good I'm going to do a video about that too, going in further detail. I'm not going to forget that. I'm going to take a picture of your question after the stream ends to make sure I do a detailed video on that with a spreadsheet and everything. But in short, pest control is definitely, general pest is going to be your most profitable more than likely, in terms of percentages, just because chemical costs. I know our chemical costs. It's usually around $5 to $20 at the most if we're using like Onslaught Fast Cap. for like scorpions and stuff like that. But either way, very cheap, $5 to $20 per service. You got your little bit of gas, the fuel for the truck and wear and tear. And then, of course, tech pay. I'm the tech, of course, but you still want to factor that in, of course. All in all, you're looking like maybe around $50 essentially for a service. And if you're charging, 105 to 175 like we tend to charge for most quarterly services, you're making a pretty good return overall on that investment. Depending on, of course, your customer acquisition costs, how long they are a customer, yada, yada, yada. But overall, that's the most profitable, probably followed by, that'd be tough, between bed bug and exclusion, and then followed by probably liquid termite treatments, and then Trelona, ATBS, preventative treatments, and then rodent bait stations. That's just a rough estimate. Like I said, I'm gonna go. You got me thinking now. I'm gonna do a full on, not tutorial, but like video of like a spreadsheet breakdown of what it costs for each of our services and which is the most profitable. That's an excellent question. And what margins do you aim? So I guess that's kind of a two-part question. I aim for, in all honesty, I aim to make profit at the end of the day. I mean, obviously, like, I want to make the most I can per job, but at the end of the day, like, I'm growing this company to possibly one day sell. Maybe not. I mean, if I end up having a son, or if, one of my daughters is kind of weird and wants to do the whole bug thing and wants to, like, run the company or whatever, we're probably someday going to be a Fortune 500 company of some kind. At least that's the goal, of course. So, they wouldn't even really be hands-on at the end of the day. But, in short, today, my target, profit margin, if I go out there, let's say I spend $200 to get a customer, I am aiming for at least a $600 contract value for the year, essentially. I always go out there pitching the yearly, regardless of what it is. If it's exclusion, obviously exclusion, it comes with a 1-year warranty that can be renewed year over year, all that stuff. We now offer in-house financing for that as well, 12 and 16-month financing. But overall, we're aiming for minimum $600 per customer. So hopefully that kind of answers that. Again, that'll probably be, also in that same video that I was talking about, where I break down profit margins and all that good stuff. Did you advertise in the slow off season? Oh yeah, because that's the only way, outside of your Google business page, that's the only way to get customers, is you got to keep feeding the beast. You got to keep advertising all year round. If you guys don't know who Grant Cardone is, I definitely suggest you guys look him up. He's very great. He pitches a lot of stuff. He's a real estate investor, and he's always trying to get money for that stuff. If you don't look at that and you focus on like his stuff when it comes to growing your brand, advertising, stuff like that, he has a lot of great content on that. He talks a lot about this, feed the beast. You got to constantly feed the company, feed the advertising, because the moment you stop advertising is the moment people start forgetting about you. And that's the most important thing, is they're not going to do business with you if they don't even know who you are at the end of the day. I like the approach. Awesome. Oh, your kids are grown. Someday, I give my wife crap about that. I'm like, man, I can't wait. Someday we're going to be empty nesters. But then there's cute little moments where I never want to be an empty nester for sure. How many products are they carrying? Well, right now it's just me on the technician side. I do have a brother who I'll probably be hiring at some point in the future. But in terms of like how many pesticides I keep on the vehicle, usually we use a lot of Tempered Taurus for like general pest side of things. Tempered Taurus, Fast Cap Onslaught, what else? There's a couple more. Seismic, Demand, any type of, what's it called? Lambda. It's called like Lambda 9. 9.7 or something like that, which now we are using actually the true Lambda because it's the cheapest one. For granulars, we use, what's the granular we're using now? Entice granulars. We use Avion Ant Gel, OptiGuard Ant Gel, Entice Ant Gel. Don't use a lot of OptiGuard or Entice. We mostly use Avion Ant Gel. There's quite a few, in all honesty, but it definitely varies. A lot of times, if I were to narrow it down to what we use the most is going to be tempered and Taurus, for like a lot of like ant issues and stuff like that. And then the Seismic or Lambda 9.7 along with the Fast Cap for like spiders, scorpions, the microencapsulated chemical side of things, and Entice Granular for granular treatment, and then Alpine WSG for like German roach cleanouts, bed bug spray jobs, that kind of thing. Those are kind of like our staples, so to speak, if that makes sense. Oh, and then for IGR, we use Teco Pro IGR as well for our IGR side of things, for like German roach cleanouts and all that stuff. So hopefully that answers your question. And hopefully, by the way, because I saw we haven't had a question come in for a while, hopefully everything is doing all right. If there's any issues or anything, like I said, don't hesitate to let me know in the chat box there. I want to, make sure that these streams are good quality for you guys. Anyways, while we're waiting for another question, we'll go on to the next tool, which is going to be Loomly. If you've been with the channel for a little bit, you've probably seen our video already about Loomly, the software where you can publish content ahead of time on a calendar. I'll pull up kind of the calendar view. So say you're publishing blog posts, social media posts, all that. Loomly has kind of everything, essentially. As you can see, let's just act like we're going to create a post, essentially. So say we're going to create a post. I'm just going to do NA, and then we'll say we're going to go ahead and schedule it for whenever. As you can see here, they have everything. I mean, you can do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, your Google Business Profile, which is a big one for me, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, all these different things. And you just go through these little prompts one by one. It takes like 2 minutes, essentially, to make your post. And then it will literally schedule it at whatever time, at whatever day, you want to schedule for in advance, and boom, it'll do it for you. So then you don't have to worry about remembering and setting alarms and stuff on your calendar that, hey, we need to post on Facebook, or we need to post on our Google Business Profile. Like, it does it all for you. And you can even go as far as, say you don't have enough time, you're crunched on time, you just kind of need to run with some duplicate content just to stay relevant. You can go all the way back to, as long as you're signed up with them, essentially. And let's say we wanted to, duplicate this pest control Saxy. Well, we could do duplicate, you pick whichever one you want to go with, and, just go ahead and duplicate for a new time and date. So I think that's a very cool feature as well. That's pretty much all I do. They have other features as well, but they're not really necessary. And this one here costs about $300 a year. I paid a year up front. It's something like $300 or $330 a year, or it comes out to like $30 a month, essentially, as well. Most of these tools, they're going to be relatively cheap, which is what I look for you guys, of course, that are just starting out. How do you deal with a not so satisfied customer? I've had like one or two, but they're not fun to deal with. Yes, I have had one. So you just do what you can at the end of the day. Luckily, since I kind of control everything within the company still right now, for the most part, I haven't really had, but like only really one really sticks out to me. There was a guy we did an exclusion job for and a squirrel job for. Like, he had a squirrel chew a hole. We set up a one-way trap, all this stuff. And he called me, and, I gave him a great deal. I mean, this was about almost a year ago to the day. It's funny because I've never heard a single issue or anything. He still had the warranty technically, but haven't heard a single thing from him since. So we did what we were supposed to do. But he called us like as soon as he saw it. He did everything. He was here. It's gonna be okay. Like, don't worry. We're gonna get you taken care of. Bring them back down to earth essentially, because most of the time they're freaking out. Of course. From there, I told him, this is what we're gonna do. This is what's gonna cost. He was worried about a squirrel's nest inside the attic. And I asked him, how long have they been here? And he was like, just a couple days that I'm aware of. And I was like, there's not going to be, babies or anything up there. There's not going to be anything to worry about. But, I'll go ahead and set a trap up here as well as the one way we're already setting up. And I'll have my technician take a look whenever he's here as well, because he's going to have to pull my trap out either way, which I normally don't even do. I normally don't even set a trap in the attic because it's not even that great of an idea. But did it anyways just to kind of, help him out a little bit. And didn't charge for it either, by the way. And my technician calls me the day of, and we're having an ice storm, by the way. My technician's doing this like in an ice storm when I told him he didn't have to. But just to help the customer out, he went ahead and did it. And my technician calls me and tells me, hey, am I supposed to like walk through this attic and look for a nest? And I was like, no, why? He's like, well, he seems to think so. And like, he's not like having it. Like he thinks I'm supposed to. And I was like, okay, well, tell him to call me. And dude calls me and I can tell he's already pissed off. Like he's like, hey, I thought that, is he going to go through the attic, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, sir. He's checking that trap to see if we caught anything in there, and he's going to shine a light, that he's not walking through your whole attic because it's like I explained to you whenever I was out there a few days before this, quoting the job, I was like, it's too big of a risk for us. We don't have walking boards or anything like that. I'll have him shine a light to see if, he sees anything that maybe I didn't. But like I told you, you caught this early enough. There's no issue with there being a nest or anything. He was worried about, hundreds of droppings and pee and stuff like leaking through his insulation and through the ceiling, essentially. And I even told him, I said, look, I'm so confident that will not happen that if it does, call me, let me know. And as part of your warranty, I will have my technician come out and cut out that section of your ceiling and, fix it by any means necessary if that happens. He was still pissed off and he was an asshole at the end of the day. It is what it is. He got the follow-up email, about the warranty information and whatnot, and if he needed us, let us know. And he responded to the email, no, absolutely not. I'll never do business with you all again. Take me off your list. In those situations, you just do what you can do, and there's some people in the world that you're just never going to make happy at the end of the day. They're angry people in general. I even see myself as an angry person from time to time, but I'm not that angry. It's just some people you just can't satisfy at the end of the day. So you do what you can. You literally exhaust every resource possible to try to make them happy, even if it means cutting into your profit. Because like I said, I set the trap up there. That's normally $250 right from the get-go. I offered him more additional, warranty coverage in terms of damage than we would normally, in terms of supplies, paying my tech to go out there and work. I probably would have been damn near negative on that job if something like that were to happen. You do everything that you can essentially, and you stress that to them. You voice to them, hey, I'm trying to work with you here. I'm offering you all these, backup plans and, not even backup plan, but, additional, warranty coverage, whatever the case may be. But, you're not working with me at the end of the day. So, if that's the case, we're done here. There's nothing else we can do for you. That was a very long story. Hopefully that answers your question. To answer the question, just do what you can, exhaust every resource, even if it means, cutting your profit line, unfortunately, because as long as you do everything, what's funny? He didn't leave us a bad review anywhere. If you go look at our, profile, you'll see nothing but 5-star reviews still. So he obviously wasn't too dissatisfied at the end of the day. Otherwise, he would have, bombed us on Google, Yelp, BBB, all that. So he knows at the end of the day he was wrong. But, you just do what you can at the end of the day. But yeah, back to Loomly. I think we pretty much went over everything for that. Like I said, it's a pretty straightforward platform. You add your post, you can duplicate post. It just makes life so much easier. I suggest, once a month at the minimum, either once a month, sit down, pump out your whole month of content, or once a week, preferably. Usually I do mine either on a rainy day or on a Friday, some day where I have time, at least once a week, sit down here and pump out your post for the upcoming week. The next tool is AI Detector by Content Scale. So this is contentatscale.ai. It's another AI tool that works great for checking for AI content. So most of you know about ChatGPT by now, which we'll pull up ChatGPT right now. And let's say that which this is another cool extension that I'm gonna do a video for you all on sometime. This is amazing for SEO and whatnot. But let's just say we're not gonna use any add-ons or anything. Let's just tell ChatGPT, can you write me a 500 word article on rodent control in Dallas and why it is needed. So, you have ChatGPT, go ahead and write you up, one of these posts, essentially. And then the whole point of this again, another free tool, that's awesome. You would paste whatever content that you'd have your AI tool, regardless if it's ChatGPT or OpenAI or Jasper or whatever type of tool you're using at the end of the day. You would copy all that content, paste it into here, and then check for AI content, essentially. And it'll give you a score of 0 to 100. Obviously, you're shooting for like 95 plus, and it'll tell you straight up that, hey, this is clearly written by a robot, or, B, that this passes our test. This does not, look like AI content at all. They have their own platform for this as well, which I will do another video for you all on. I paid for 1 month of it. I'm going to explain to you all why I'm not going to be sticking with them. I was going to actually suggest them to you all. I have a referral link and everything, but I'm not going to stick with them. And there's nothing wrong with them specifically, like nothing they did or didn't do, but just something with ChatGPT specifically that I will get into in a future video for you guys. But okay, so now that they got this post done, what we would do is we're just going to copy it, we're going to paste it, we're going to tell it check for AI. So again, this is using no extensions or anything. Look, we got 26%. So it wasn't bad. There's some on ChatGPT that get like a 0, like it's straight up bot material. But yeah, like this would not do good as a post for SEO for your website. Even though, you told it, it uses keywords, Dallas, rodent, pest control professional, animals, humans, chemical treatment, sprays, dusts, a whole bunch of keywords in here, but it can still tell that it's AI. It's written by AI. So that is where you're going to want to use some kind of tools, either like a content scale, which is a good option but expensive, or you can add on some of these Google Chrome, ChatGPT extensions that write very good ones that do not pop up under AI whatsoever. But a free tool, contentscale.ai and /AI content detector. Great tool to keep in your favorites tab for sure. So you build good relationship with customers. Oh, so you're with another company. When and how do you recommend I sign them up? So I'm assuming you're like, if I remember right, you're with another company and you're starting your own like at the end of the month. And I think what you're referring to is like there's customers at that company that want to join you. So if that's the case, the main thing is just make sure you're not having dozens of customers cancel at once. Like, say there is, we'll just say a dozen. There's 12 customers that you know for a fact want to sign up with you. What I would do is I would just be upfront with them. I'd be like, hey, I'm not trying to steal you like from X company, but if you decide you want to sign up with me, here's, have a website or a phone number, something like that, ready to go to give them, and tell them, call me or, submit a form on my website. That way it looks like you reached out to me, essentially. Like, I didn't reach out to you, you reached out to me. And when you do that, don't send that or tell that to all those customers at once, because coincidentally, they're all going to do it at once. It's going to send up warning signs to the company you worked for, and they're going to come after you. And again, I only have like just less than 5 customers from my previous employer. I did not like do this or anything. This is just what I would do if I were literally trying to, get some of those customers I know for a fact want to come with me. That's how I would go about it. I would make it where it looks like literally they came looking for you. Ironically, I had one customer do that. She found me like 6 months later, and found my website. She saw a bunch of our reviews on Google, like mentioning my name, like saying Griffin is great, this and that and the other. And she was like, hey, do you work for, Big T? And I was like, yeah, I did. Who is this? And she told me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember you, blah, blah. And we got to talking, and now they do mosquito and general pest, all that with us. But yeah, that's how I'd do it. I'd make it where it looks as natural as possible. Obviously if 12, 20, 30 customers, boom, cancel in, a week, all of a sudden, right after you leave, it's going to throw up red flags. So just be careful with that. And, at the end of the day, do what's best, not just for you, but for the customer as well. Hope that helps. Starting my business this month. Most of my potential customers use Big T. Oh, you're from Memphis, too, so you're where the corporate guys are. What helps you outcompete the big guys? Man, it's going to sound cocky. I hate sounding cocky, but, literally just carrying yourself like, I'm the best, we're the best. Like, if you want the best, you called the best. But if you want, sub-average, then, go ahead and call Big T, call Big O. Like, there's a reason that, they're losing more customers than they're gaining, last time I heard from a source. So, you got to kind of carry this swagger about you that now you have to believe it, of course, because if you don't believe it, then it's going to be obvious right away. If you try to say, like, oh, man, we're the best, blah, 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 and you can just tell, right, whenever someone believes it versus when they don't. Like, I tell people all the time, like, when they object to our price, I'm like, well, I'd rather justify my prices now than justify our quality later. Perfect line to use. Like, I mean, I love that line. I use that line all the time. It's my go-to line when people bitch about our pricing, which, by the way, our pricing is not bad at all. It's right in line. It's actually slightly lower than some of our competitors. So, main thing is, just add value. I can't stress that enough. Show the value, explain the value, add the value in any way you can. Especially when you're one-man show, telling them, hey, you're not signing up for, let's just say your company. I see you're an Arkansas fan. You're not signing up for Woo Pig Pest Control. You're signing up for, looks like your name is Alden. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Alden. Or Alden. You're signing up with me, Alden. You're getting my cell phone number. If you have a problem, you can text me, at any time. My phone's always near me. If you have a problem, you let me know. We'll get it taken care of. You're not going to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to be out there, as soon as possible for you, and we'll get that taken care of. Like, just add value, show that you care, and, that's what people want. They want somebody that's going to care and take care of their problem and, even be a friend to them in some cases. So, hopefully that helps. I'm starting my business. What would you say would be top 3 tools for advertising? Oh, man. Oh, that's tough. So, for just starting... I'm trying to go back. So for just starting, I would go back to Google Local Services because, like I said, from my experience, they're going to push you up to the top at first, and you're going to get a lot of calls from that. And they're going to be very cheap early on. We're talking $25 to $50 a call in most cases early on. So that'd be number one, assuming that's still the case. It's been 2 to 3 years, not 3, just over 2 years now since, I first signed up for that. So Google Local Services, Facebook ads, and Google ads. That would be the 3 ones that I would do. And I didn't even really hit on my Facebook ads. So with Facebook ads, I actually got one running right now. I can't stress how cheap Facebook ads are. I mean, $5 a day, and look at that. I mean, we're getting $1.47 per landing page view. Like, you can't even compete with that. I mean, compared to Google, where it was $7.60, $7.62, I mean, it's almost 6x higher. It's 5 to 6x higher pricing. Same type of ad setup too. I will say this: when it comes to doing, Facebook ads, Google ads, etc., make sure you create a separate landing page with a separate call tracking number. That way, you know where your calls are coming from. Which that was a great question, by the way, because that leads me to one final tool that I almost forgot about for you all, which I'm going to do a whole tutorial on because it can be kind of complicated in the future. CallRail. CallRail is a platform that I was actually introduced to by Gorilla Desk. They essentially create tracking numbers for your website, Facebook ads, Google, Google Business. The email marketing, that kind of stuff. Any type of marketing platform or web page, etc. You want to have, say for your Facebook ads, for example. I have a specific Facebook ads landing page, which if you don't know what a landing page is, I don't know if you see right there where it says landing page, preferredpestmanagement.org/rodent control Facebook. So Rodent Control Facebook, that is the end of the link for the landing page for the Facebook ad. So that's the page that they're going to end up on when they click on that page. So instead of seeing, my main number or one of my main website numbers or whatever the case may be, there's a specific phone number for this page. So that will help you a lot when it comes to, analyzing which ads are working, because you're going to be able to keep track. The beauty of this platform is it will whisper to you. Like when you answer the phone, it will tell you. You can select, yes, I want a whisper message. That way I know where the call is coming from. So mine will tell me, when I answer the phone, it'll say call from Facebook ad is what it'll tell me. And then, all the other ones will do the same thing. It'll, if I can go somewhere else, let's see, maybe activity. No, not activity. Let's see. Man, I want to get back to that other page. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole tutorial about this, website, because like I said, one, it can be kind of difficult to learn, but two, there's just so much good information here. But yeah, and it can be, depending on how much money you have available, a little expensive. It's going to be right around $100 a month, essentially. Like with all these different phone numbers I have right now, it's going to cost me about $110 a month. So it is, again, it's an investment at the end of the day. If you really want to know where all your calls are coming from, I definitely suggest you all use CallRail. I will say when it comes to Google Ads, they are good about if you do a call campaign, when you pick up the phone, there'll be a little whisper message that says, what is it? Like, this call is from your Google ad. It doesn't tell you which ad specifically, though. So if you're running multiple ads or multiple call ads, again, you'd want to use CallRail for that. So it's a very good tool. It's definitely worth the money, in my opinion. But I didn't even have this until when I signed up with Gorilla Desk. It comes with it as part of the package. Not Gorilla Desk like for the CRM standpoint, but from the website creator standpoint, they use CallRail. for your keyword pool on your website, essentially, and your Google business page. I took over it essentially whenever I canceled that service with them. Instead of paying them $750 a month, I'm only paying them $250 now, and then I'm paying CallRail, $110. I'm saving, $400 a month by just managing the website by myself. So yeah, it's all about cost analysis and getting the best bang for your buck for sure. Is this a ghost number that connects you to your business number? Essentially, yeah. Essentially. So let me see if I can kind of just show you guys. Let's see, would we go into edit? Or here, I'll just act like I'm going to set one up, essentially. Let's do that. Let's do numbers. Create a number. So whenever you go through here, this isn't like a full tutorial or anything. I'm just showing you guys an example. So let's say we're going to use this online. And then we'll say we're going to use it somewhere else, like a Google ad. And we're going to use it for Facebook ads. So you'd say, okay, I want it to send to my main business phone number. And then from there, it allows you to pick whatever number you want. And then from there, you'd select your number features. This is where you would, of course, name the type of ad it is, aka what you want that whisper message to be, so you know where the call is coming from. You plug it in, and then you're good to go, essentially. So I hope that answers that question. Appreciate you helping out others looking to start a business. Learned a lot from watching your videos. Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you all tuning in. I do this because, I know how hard it is out here, finding information that actually helps on a consistent basis. There's so much fluff on the internet and people trying to sell you a bunch of BS. You don't know how many hours I've had to put in to find just all the tools we went over today. And for every tool that I found today, I probably searched through another 50, well, not 50, but at least 10 or 20 BS platforms that were just trying to sell snake oil and, try to get you to buy their marketing plan and this and that and the other. So, I just, that's all the channel's about at the end of the day, is, trying to give everybody, trying to start a pest control business, a great platform to kind of refer back to. And, my YouTube analytics kind of suck because of it, because a lot of people, it'll show me where, sometimes people will come back, view a video, and there's a spike for 2 minutes where there's a good little chunk of information that someone needed. But it's all good because I know that at the end of the day, what goes around comes around. We're adding a great community of like-minded people in our Discord group chat, like I always mention, over 220 of us in there now. And what goes around comes around at the end of the day is what I believe. Pest control is a good needs for ad agencies. Be interested to know how much a pest control business gets on average from a customer. So, the problem is, Victor, that a lot of agencies already kind of target pest control and, service industry companies in general. So it can be kind of a double-edged sword. I'm to the point now where when I get a phone call from anybody that says they're an ad agency, I hate to say it, but I hang up on them essentially, just because I get so many spam calls more than anything from the snake oil ones that there's no way for me to know which one's legit and which is not. Not to mention, I'm not even interested right now. This is just me, of course. I do all the stuff myself when it comes to that because I'm very good at the analytic type of stuff. But even if I was considering somebody, there's so much spammy BS out there that anymore, as soon as I hear somebody, I can almost tell by their voice. But once they just ask for me, I just hang up because I know that they're just calling forward, to try to pitch me on something. So, you can try, but it's going to be hard. I'll say that. In terms of like I said, when it comes to our average revenue per customer, it's about $600 per year. In terms of the cost of a one-time service, 200 to 250, or if it's termite or exclusion, you can get into the $1,000 to $3,000 range. There are big ticket items. If you were to do an ad agency, in all honesty, the best thing you could do is start a door knocking company. Because door knocking, pest control is notorious for door knocking. So I hope that helps. Automated call message system. I do not. I do have a very detailed voicemail that does, kind of explain, that, hey, this is who I am. I'm the owner of the company. Feel free to call me, or not call me. Feel free to leave me a voicemail, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, for sure within the next hour at the latest. And a lot of times when I do miss a call, it's usually just because I'm busy with something, and I'll even send them a text right away. Because I used to tell them in the voicemail, send me a text at this number, but of course if they try to text one of your call tracking numbers, that's not going to work too well, of course. So I took that out of that voicemail intro, and what I do instead is as soon as I miss the call, I text them immediately, regardless of what I'm doing. And then as soon as I'm able to call them back, I either call them back, or if they text me back, then, we just continue to text, of course. That's how I do it now. In the long haul, I plan on having an actual office phone set up. I won't be in the field as much. And what will end up happening is say I am out in the field, calls will come to the business phone set up first, and then if I don't answer within 2 or 3 rings, it'll forward over to my business cell phone instead. That way, that can kind of continue as long as possible. And then someday I will, have it forward out to a call center agency, essentially. I have looked at some. There are some out there for as cheap as $500 a month. So that is a good thing. There's a lot of them that allow you to scale. I've already looked into that plenty of times, especially during spring and summer, because my head is spinning. I'll be getting 10 to sometimes even 20 calls in a day. It can get very overwhelming, so I've definitely looked into it. And the moment I do decide to do that, I'll definitely, give you guys an update on that for sure. But with that, wow, it's already almost 5 o'clock. So with that, we'll probably go ahead and wrap up this stream. I don't even know how long we've been live now. We've been live for a while. Wow, over 2 hours. We'll probably go ahead and just wrap up this stream for today. We'll go ahead and go live again probably Saturday, like we did this past week as well, time permitting. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell icon beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And then, of course, if you're not in our Discord group chat, the link for that to join should be in our description box down below. We'd love to have you there. It's totally free. We don't charge you anything to join. That's the best place to get notifications about videos as well, because I know sometimes YouTube, even if you hit the bell, they don't always notify you for some reason, or they notify you an hour later. It's weird with YouTube right now, but if you're in that Discord group chat, you'll always be notified well in advance, usually a day before we go live, the day we're going live, minutes before we go live, and then when we're actually going live. So we'd love to have you in there. And of course, if you have any questions or anything after this video uploads, you can shout it out in the chat, or of course, like I say, you can ask me in Discord. Just tag me in your question, that way I get the notification, and I'll gladly answer it over there. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. Thanks so much again for all of y'all tuning in today. I don't know how many of us tuned in so far, but we definitely had a lot of good questions today, a lot of good information for you all that good stuff. So definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, and thank you. I'm going to look forward for more content. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. And like I said, appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, join Discord. We'd love to see y'all in the group. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there and making your money, investing your money, growing your money, giving your family the life you all deserve. And I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Take it easy.